What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the continuation of Larva versus Rich. This is part 3, and we're going to be wrapping up this series today, hopefully. There's still quite a few games left, so we might break it into one more part. We'll see. I've been pretty busy here lately with the ASL. I've got to try to save my voice for these regular daily casts, and been informed that we're going to be having some SDS light casts in the future, although we're still waiting on the confirmation for that, and it'll probably start up once again after the ASL has concluded. Still kind of in talks for that, and honestly, it's been a bit of a pain in the ass, but it is what it is. I'm really trying for you guys and for my own channel, for my own sake. I love the ladder casts, and I do enjoy just having freedom to cast absolutely anything, but definitely having a real series with some stakes involved definitely does make a difference. It does bring out more people and gets the views for sure, so that's certainly a priority for me right now. Anyways, guys, we've got the first Zealot coming into the natural. He's going to be putting on just a little bit of pressure here as Rich takes his Nexus behind this. First few Lings are going to pop out here. How's Larva's control today? Getting ready for this Zealot coming in. Very nice tucked position here from Rich, but it's on top of it with the drones. Nice job drilling through the Zealot and probe, managing to get some good damage on that. Looking around the backside here, see if he can't take a good fight with this Zealot probe. And try and target down the probe back there. Looks like he does manage to get the probe. I actually can't remember the hotkey to get rid of this thing. And so, yeah, maybe it's... What is it here? There. Uh-huh, it's Q. Well, that would have been useful a moment ago, but we're at least going to see this last Zealot go down. Very rare that there are moments that we actually need to be removing that mini-map. But this is one of those specific circumstances, and sending the third Zealot into the main might have been a mistake here. Layer on the way in the natural. Cannon being placed pretty far back here, so, or excuse me, Forge being placed a little bit further back so that the cannons can be built on either side. I think you can build another cannon right there, but he might want to place it just a little further back. Don't want it to be too easy to snipe, but it is set up to protect the Forge here. Ling speed is on the way. It's looking like a pretty standard game from Larva so far. A probe has been sent on the map to get some confirmation scouting going. There are a few Lings here in the natural just in case there was a Zealot out on the map somewhere that could just come walking in. By the way, I'm going to change the colors now because brown, obviously, not a very good color. Just in general, hard to see on the minimap. Glad we got red Zerg here. Red Zerg is a nice color. Definitely a fan of it. And 4 Zealot's going to move out. 4 Zealot move out. If he loses these, he could be in a lot of trouble. Looks like he might just stand here for a minute or so and then head back home. Probe has been dealt with. The Lings are not sure exactly where those Zealots were headed. Overlord, I don't think, spotted those, making their way back into the wall. And so Larva's going to run around here a little bit with these extra Lings that he made. He's been slowed down just slightly as this Spire over here at the third, interestingly. It's going to become a part of his wall. I imagine he'll throw something like an evolution chamber on the top of that. hatchery here to just really choke up this area. Put a sunken colony in the mineral line if he needs it. And no second gas just yet. Looks like it's just going to be the Spire for some Scourge. Deal with the first Corsair. And then move on from there. Corsair coming into the main base. Right as the Scourge are about to pop out. This is very, very close. And we may end up seeing this first Corsair go down. Let's see. Ooh. Nice move there. Will manage to avoid catastrophe with that first Corsair going down. Second gas coming up here. Evolution chamber. Hydroden. No, third hatchery above this base here. That's actually the 6th hatchery in total. And no double Stargate or anything like that as a response to this. Rich is going to add a second gateway in the natural. That is, of course, to allow Templar to be built and be safe at the cannons here, should there be some sort of Ogre Zerg play. 5 mutas on the way, but I doubt there'll be more than that. Looks like Larva really wants to go for a 6-hatch Hydra approach. So he's got the Hydra Den on the way now. Has his +1 coming up here. Adding on those last few drones that he needs to have full saturation. Zealots moving out. And the Scourge is just going to follow their every move. Lings and Mutas have arrived to deal with this little bit of pressure that's come his way. Gotta get 1 drone kill if he can. Rich, he gets 1. Alright, that'll be replaced there without any delay. Looks like he might actually have 4 on that now. Not really the best, yeah. Looks like he does have 4 on there. But has enough drones now to fully saturate all of these spaces. Let's see the saturation here. A little bit light in the main base, honestly. Could use to transfer a few drones over to that location. Sometimes it's hard to remember to saturate your main. But with 44 drones, he absolutely should be able to saturate all those bases. We're just flying around right now, looking for any stray zealots out on the map. You can see Lings dotting all over the place, giving some little bits of vision here and there. But the Hydralisk production has now begun. And so we're going to see a mid-game here between these two. Hasn't been the case throughout this entire series. We've seen lots of crazy plays. And quick busts on either side. So we'll see if Rich can do anything with this small army. Ooh, Scourge get in there and get a kill on one of these Corsairs. Can he get another? Not quite able to connect there. A lot of Hydras out here in the front. Maybe not quite enough to just bully this army away. In fact, he will just turn around and run. The Lings are going to be good for body blocking. They're not going to last for that long, but they will last long enough to where the Hydras can target down Corsairs in a upcoming fight. Quite a lot of Hydras are coming forward here, and he's utilizing the Mutalisk pretty well. Trying to get little pot shots on the Zealots while not getting too close and taking damage from the Corsairs. It'll be very easy to just let all of those Mutas die at a point like this, but he's doing a good job of keeping them useful and moving forward on the map. So he'll be taking this fight. Going up onto high ground against this army is a little bit rough. He has the +1. No +1 armor here just yet, so it might be a reasonable opportunity to take a fight. However, he's going to have to target down that Archon if he wants to make this work. Potentially try to kill off the Corsairs as well. Bringing everything back to the front. Now 9 drones in production. That'll be to saturate top left. Going to be sending a lot of workers over to that location. Looks like he's maybe sent some of the workers from the main. Not really sure about that, but a ton of drones headed up here to the top left right now. Hitting his macro stride is Larva. Spamming out units here. He does need to get some snipes on these High Templars now. Can't be backing all the way across the map here with these Hydras. And looks like he does get a critical snipe on the High Templar. Only one High Templar left at this point. Good pullback. Whoa, what happened with that Zealot? Just running forward there. Absolutely sprinting at this army. That is a glitch that happens sometimes when the Zealots are touching each other as they move in the same direction. And I'm holding hands and moving forward so quickly. These High Templar may end up getting sniped, and indeed he does snipe the High Templar, so a little bit of an overstay here from Rich. He had a few extra storms, but he was running low on Zealots, and so wasn't able to push the issue here. Really good job from Larva hitting his macro while doing all of that dodging of storms and pulling back constantly. That's one of the hardest things to do in this matchup. Is just keep your Hydralisk moving. Don't eat massive storms while also macroing off of all your 6 hatcheries. Looks like a lot of these Immutas are going to end up falling finally. Lurkers pop out and burrow immediately. Zealots have to retreat now. But that was a pretty good timing there from Rich to get a little bit of extra damage. When all those Lurkers are morphing, you're able to get on top of the remaining Hydras. You can end up doing a lot to the rally point, and that's what he just managed to do. Now pushing up here on the high ground, there's 2 Templar ready for storms and a counterattack of Zealots moving over towards this natural. I think that's been spotted, and he's ready to defend against it. Storms go down. Pretty good dodging on Larva's side of things. Lurker here in the naturals going to burrow, and with these extra Hydras he should be able to hold. Pushing forward with the Lurkers now, getting right up on top of this. Damn, that was a good storm. 4 Lurkers get hit by that, and so Larva's just not going to be able to bust. Can he block on the ramp? Okay, he does manage to block on the ramp, and these Zealots will get in or out and will be picked off here on the ramp. This base is mining nicely, but he really does need to get this gas online. Looks like in a moment of quiet, finally, as things start to calm down, he will get that online, making just tons of Lurkers right now. Has a second Evo chamber, but no hint of a hive just yet. He's going to continue to produce. Now, this is fine as long as he doesn't allow a 4th base to come down. Rich will be angling towards most likely this base here soon. Could also be the center right. I'm surprised to see Larva not go over there just to check, make sure that he hasn't thrown up some cannons over there. Trying to get a cheeky hidden base. Nice job walking into the rally point, just checking. Oh, do you have any High Templar there? Maybe. Probably it'll just be Zealots and Dragoons standing at that. But occasionally there will be High Templar, and you can get a couple of kills like that. Gets a little bit lucky there. With his poke, 2 High Templar are dead. And so this play has even more possibility of working now. Just massing up Hydras and continuing to put on the pressure. Rich wants to come down. I'm a little bit surprised to see him do this. Come down, try to trade a little bit with the army, because this is a lot of Hydras. That's a great storm there. But a lot more Hydras are coming. And the Dragoons, I mean, they're not that big in number here just yet. Not like he has a really overwhelming force of Dragoons to actually start dealing that damage. But a few Hydras left over in this top left-hand corner. Gonna target down the Archon and then back away as the Dragoon army moves forward. Oh no, Lurkers being sent in. With the rally, we're going to have to back away. The army is starting to become pretty sizable at this point for Larva, so it can be very hard to deal with this. all of this moving. No High Templar at this base, though. No High Templar at all. Can start to make lurkers on high ground over in that top right. Just make it really difficult to, or difficult defensive position as he kills this base. Lurkers are running down right now. Rich is angling up towards this high ground. Can Larva save this base right now? He might be better served just pulling away and giving up this hatchery. Yeah, this hatchery is not too important right now. Spread those lurkers out. Get ready for the follow-up attack because you know that Rich has to go all in. He's been outmaneuvered in this game. Was a little bit greedy bringing this many Templar with his army, thinking that he was going to directly confront Larva in just a few moments. Bunch of overlords here flying over the army. Storm on the left-hand side. You can see a full surround on this Protoss force. I think it's just a matter of time now before Larva clears this out. He is going to lose a lot of overlords. Kind of haphazardly sending those in. Has cost him pretty big. He's down to a 111 of 87, so can't really produce anything. Has 9 overlords in production. This is the type of overlord supply block that can kill you, as he desperately needs units right now just to stop this attack from going through. Rich gonna take a base in center right, and he's got a little bit of the pressure off of his side of the map. Another overlord gonna go down. Larva can't be losing overlords continuously like this. You're going to be in a lot of trouble. Rich is now on one base. One base mining is not quite going to cut it. Army moving up towards the top left. He will respond. Blocking that from coming up. Oh my goodness. My finger slipped on the key there. I will edit that out so you guys can't see the total remaining time in the VOD. If I forget, excuse me. It usually does not happen. Army pressing up onto this high ground, and we're just going to back away from that position as well. He's in a bit of a panic right now. He knows that he can win this game, and he should win this game in a few moments, but he's starting to run dry. He needs another base, and he needs to find out if there's a base on the map for Rich. One base mining is not really going to cut it. Rich needs more, but he's done a good enough job trading that he's got a Dragoon count that's difficult to contend with. 2-2 is done. Wow. All right, so he must have Hive. Yes, he does have Hive. So he did manage to slip out the Hive. He's got his Nidus Canal. And he needs another base here. He really does need another base. We might see that taken over here. Army pushing in towards the natural. Oh, this is a very dangerous position right now for Larva. He's going to catch 2 High Templar coming in on the rally. Very big catches there. Bit of a mistake from our Protoss. Still quite a few High Templar here. Scourge can come forward, try to kill. Oh man, he's not gonna micro the Scourge, and so the Scourge just fall by the wayside. Army coming around to flank this. 4 lurkers at the natural, but they're very stacked up. One storm could absolutely wreck that. Oof, that's really, really rough. He's gonna lose a lot of these lurkers right here, right now. Trying to come across the bridge. Definitely needs to go up onto the high ground and come down from the high ground here if he wants to make this work. High Templar Storm coming in. Oh, these Hydras could catch a lot of those storms as they move forward. We have a desperate situation here on both sides. Rich really needs to make this work, and Larva just needs to survive. He's killing off a lot of these Dragoons. Now, the High Templar somehow made it up onto that high ground, even with those Hydras there, to start dealing damage, but there's only one observer here. It's at the back of the army, just staying alive. Another great storm. Just finally pushing forward. It looks like he's done it. Larva's managed to survive, and so with only one base mining, there's really not much you can do from this spot. I believe we're gonna see Rich tap out now, as there's nowhere he can really break at this point. Hydra should be able to pop through this Nidus and just save top left. Rich, one final hoorah. He sees the lurker up here on the high ground. He can try to target down the Nidus, but there comes some more units popping through at the last moment, ready to save the day, and Rich taps out. A victory here for Larva in game number 1. All right, game number 2, top left, Rich. Top right is Larva. Oh my gosh, tripping over myself. This is actually the second time me recording this. You can tell I'm a little bit tired right now. I'm gonna keep pressing on though. Try to get this video out today. A Larva over here in the top right. Going with an overpool. We've got the gateway first on the way here for Rich. And as usual, I'm struggling in this matchup, so I'm curious to see how Larva gonna approach this map. This map has given me some tough times. I've talked about it before. The different entrances can be hard to handle. I think Larva did a pretty good job kind of shuffling things around, but you could see how difficult it was for him, like trying to run back to his high ground to cover that with lurkers while the Protoss army was bearing down on him. A couple of lurkers kind of get stuck on top of each other, which often happens, especially when they're grouped up with Hydras. It can be an absolute nightmare. You can end up losing, you know, 2, 3, 4 lurkers just running past the Protoss army, and then potentially losing the game just because of that. It's rough. It is truly rough. And I'm not sure exactly what the answer is for it here on this map. Third base is coming up. Oh, he just barely missed. He just barely missed. This Zealot coming in. Again, Brown. I don't know how Brown is like... It's almost like every single game, guys. What is this? Brown all the time. Brown everywhere. Ling's over here at the natural. Not going to see the Zealot coming in. Will he react in time? Well, he's got 3 more sets of Lings about to pop out. So he should be fine here. Ooh, a couple hits on that. Oh, the drone. Okay. Looks like he's going to lose 1 drone. Can he get another one? Another kill? Oh, not quite. 1 kill is enough, though. That's definitely going to give Rich a good advantage in this game. Can't really do too much to punish here with the Zealots in the wall and Forge on the way up. Gonna send these Lings across the map though, see if he can't get something done with all these extra Lings that he made. Let's see if he can get some damage on the gateway anyway. Maybe set that up for a bust a little bit later on. Probe gonna slip into the main base. We'll get some good scouting information. You probably want to go for this Zealot right there. It's a little bit easier to catch when it's in that corner. Really a good idea from Rich to kind of bail out of that area. Having a hard time here getting any sort of a surround, and the Zealots are getting kills that they probably shouldn't be able to. Lings here will have to head back home. So this is kind of a big old bust. In terms of, I mean, he just didn't really get anything done with those Lings. And so we'll just be making drones behind this. Has a lair on the way at the third base. He's hiding the fact that he's going for lair right now pretty well from Rich. Rich just going to move out now with that 5 Zealot move out. Timing, it's pretty tough to deal with. You do have to make quite a few Lings to stop that. But he is going to have Ling speed at the very least. Ling speed in combination with another 4 Lings popping out here shortly should mean he can shut this down. Rich going to commit. Continuing to send the Zealots forward. Plenty of Lings to shut this down, though. As long as he gets a reasonable surround on this, you should be able to maul these Zealots. Now, I don't really like him allowing the Zealots to get all the way up here onto the high ground, and then not really taking the greatest surround. Pretty good job with the drones, though. The drones made the Zealots dance just that little bit that he needed to win this handily. So he does end up taking that fight pretty darn well. And now the drones will be transferred over here. Spire on the way in the main. The lair was revealed, though, over here at the third. Wasn't able to hide that information. And so Rich knows pretty well what's going on behind this. He's pretty sure he's got a good download on the position of Larva. Adding on those additional hatches now. We'll be getting the second gas as well. First Corsair on the map. Overlords should be hidden at this point. You can see they are heading down over to this corner. Try to protect those as best he can by just putting them into a unusual location. You can see he's going to check up in that corner. No overlords over there. Going to go check the space. Finds no overlords. Going to come down here as well, but Scourge are now about to pop. Scourge are on the way, and so he should be able to defend this overlord with ease. 5 mutas coming out here. Rich should know about this and respond accordingly. There are the Scourge. Is he actually going to get this overlord kill? 26. I think he just barely gets it. Can he get away now? Oh, not a chance. Nice hit there from Larva. It does need to make another overlord here. Looks like he's opened up that supply finally. Can make another round of drones while putting on the pressure with these mutas. 5 mutas for the one-shot potential on these probes. No Scourge here, so he has to be a little careful. Dive directly onto the cannon. That's a little bit ambitious, I would say. There's the Scourge coming in now. Ooh, can he actually get a hit? He does. He gets the hit. Big kill there. Not going to stick around to kill the second Corsair, though, surprisingly. Wants to move back. Maybe try to deal with these Zealots. I don't really know what he was thinking, if he's just going to kind of bail out after killing one Corsair. Kill the cannon and then kill one Corsair and then just leave? That doesn't really seem very worthwhile for Larva. He's lost a muta. He can't come back in now. Maybe he thought that Scourge were on the way, something like that. Maybe he thought that he was going to have more Scourge coming in, and then when he realized that they weren't on the way, I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. Hard to explain that one, but Larva doesn't really get much value out of these early mutas, and they might not even be able to kind of shut down these Zealots that are moving out on the map now. Another hatchery here in the natural. Damn, that's some really good placement right there, I gotta say. That's looking kind of nasty, actually. Can he get a kill? Oh, well, only one hit there. Sunken Colony is not done. Zealots are going to be able to slip in here. Target fire onto the Corsairs is very important in a moment like this. He does try to force those back. That's a good number of Corsairs now, and there's no Sunken just yet at this base. Need to finish that up. More Overlords will fall. And it looks like the mutas are going to lose their lives as well. No, he does manage to avoid having those sniped by the Corsairs. Finally opens up some supply. Hydra range on the way. And we're going to see this 6-hatch Hydra get into full production swing now. Nearly full saturation on these bases. A little light at the 3rd for the time being, but he does need to make quite a few more Hydras to kind of stop the bleeding when it comes to these Overlords constantly getting sniped. You need about 2 groups of Hydras to just stop that from continuing. He's a little bit lucky right now. Rich is not moving out with any High Templars here just yet. Past the 9-minute mark, and he's a little slow on his Storm upgrade. That must be because of how many Corsairs he made. He actually, okay, he went double Stargate. I somehow missed the Stargate up here in the top left-hand corner. I apologize. Usually pick up on that, but it did seem like a pretty high count of Corsairs. He's only got 6 left, and the Hydras are making their way to the front now. Storm upgrade is so close to completing. Looks like he's going to have it just in the nick of time as this bust is happening. 1 cannon goes down. A Storm lands on a big group of Hydras. That Storm not really doing nearly as much damage, and the cannons go down. More Storm should be available here in just about 5 more seconds. Going after the Forge. He should be able to get it. Forge going down is pretty big. +1 armor has been denied, and a very good dodge there. Very good dodge indeed. Another storm comes out, but the zealot number is pretty low. Where are the remainder of the storms? It looks like he's got none left. Yeah, we're seeing the downfall of 2 Stargate Corsair. It just, I really am not a big fan of this play, guys. I'm really not. And we see right now where it can be abused. Larva comes in, he just dodges a couple of storms, and there's not enough High Templar to make this defense work. Why did he not make a DT, by the way? I guess all the Overlords were already over here. He must have finished Overlord speed, but there was no Overlord at the natural. Thought he might have been able to slip one out. However, Larva just overwhelming him in the natural, and that's game number 2. All right, guys, game number 3 here, and looks like we got a extractor trick from Larva over here in the top left-hand corner. By the way, if you guys are enjoying the casts, really would appreciate you guys signing up for channel memberships. I've opened it because Google said that for this month, if any of you guys sign up, I'll get an extra something like $4 per sign up. So I put the price really low. Doesn't really cost you guys a whole lot. But you can sign up through the channel membership feature and give me some of Google's money. I would appreciate that. They've been paying me very well for all this coverage, all this entertainment that I've been making. And I would like to get a little bit of that Google cash. So yeah, if you're so inclined, you can help me out by just signing up for a channel membership. I don't just keep it around forever. It's up to you. But just for this month, only for September, there's that bonus from Google. Anywho, getting into this game, we got the lings over here at the natural. Made about 8 lings, so pretty heavy commitment from old Larva here. Wants to get some damage done, if at all possible. At least force a surround, potentially, on one of these zealots. He's looking for it. Yeah, there it is. That's the opportunity. Oh, but the other zealot popped out at the perfect time. That's why he decided to commit there, because that next zealot was just about to pop. Did end up going for the Forge Plus gate before any sort of a Nexus. And so this is a pretty big response overall out of Rich. So the commitment to 8 lings is pretty justified at this point. Slowed down the Nexus a lot. And he managed to get his hatchery up at 11, I believe. Not 11 on the map, I mean 11 overall supply count. I believe that's when he ended up getting it. Might have been a little bit later because he made all 6 lings at the same time. Anywho, some more lings being made back at home. It's about that time. Need to get out a few more lings here to deal with these zealots that are out on the map, kind of perusing, looking for anything that they can kill. But smartly, Rich just going to turn around and head back home after forcing a bit of a response. Drones now being produced. He would love to have made, you know, another 2 drones instead of these 4 lings. But can't be helped here. Larva had to respond to that threat. And so there's a bit of back and forth going on in this early game. Both players just kind of feeling each other out, seeing what they can get away with. A bit of skill check going on either side. And some good feints, some good bluffs here from Rich to force some extra responses out of Larva. Nothing huge, nothing super impactful so far. But a 4th hatch goes down. That's very interesting. He did get the gas kind of early on. I thought that he would go for layer. In fact, 400 gas is wrong. That's definitely not correct. You shouldn't be having 400 gas at this point in the game. So certainly some wires were crossed. And I know I have to mention this every game, is that don't take these games as a total or a real download of exactly how well players are doing at any given time. We're talking about ladder here. Larva is an entertainer. He's mostly streaming and kind of laddering at the same time and messing around, you know, talking to the chat, being very entertaining and fun. That's where he really does make his money. So it's not necessarily that he's, you know, completely locked in right now trying to play at his 100%. Probably Rich. Rich might be locked in. I mean, he's at 450 APM, guys. He seems pretty locked in right now. So it might be that Rich is fully locked in. I don't know how big of a stream he has or if he has a stream at all. But he could be really playing his heart out here. But again, we can't really judge off of these ladder games. We have to take it with a grain of salt every single time. They can be a lot of fun because players tend to be a little bit more loose when they play like this. They're not as stiff. They can, you know, throw out some more interesting strategies and just try things that maybe otherwise they wouldn't. But, yeah. It is what it is. Just keep that in mind as we go forward here. Now, this may not be fully representative of Larva's play. I know there's some big Larva fans out there. I'm right there with you guys and wanting this guy to do well in the ASL. Double cannon here at the natural. Was thinking about a run by, but that's a little bit too risky. Gonna lose too many lings. Those lings are very valuable in the upcoming fight. Like once the Corsairs are here and ready to fight with a big group of zealots, those lings can buy that little bit of extra time for the Hydras to gun down the Corsairs. Dark Templar on the way. Is there going to be an Overlord at this base? You really do need to make an Overlord over here at the third Larva. Don't be too greedy. There it is. Overlord at the third. Right on time. DT is coming out. And it's going to look for some damage, but it's unlikely to find any. Once Larva sees this. Larva is going to see that now. And just retreat back home, be real nice and safe. And he's on about 5 hatchery production right now. Okay, he's making a spire. I think I'm sensing a bit of a Mutalisk transition coming. You can see he's kind of hiding the spire under here. I think he wants Rich to think this is a hatchery. But Rich may be starting to suss things out. He's building another Corsair. Yeah, he knows. He knows. He is aware. This is not as it appears. In fact, some sort of Mutalisk play is heading Rich's way. PT gonna head down to the bottom side of the map. Look for a potential 4th base if you can try to at least slow that. Then the DT will be worth it. Nearly full saturation now, but still on only 4 hatcheries. The 5th one is about to show up. Oh no, wait, sorry, excuse me. This hatchery in here. So 3, 4, 5, 6. So he's got 6 hatchery. Excuse me. Forgot about the hatchery in the main. That 4 hatch Hydra. He is going to go up to 6. And there it is. Mutalisk transition. As expected. Dark Templar here. Looking for some harassment. Gonna find 2 Hydras. And a Larva will look to snipe that. Overlord in position. Templar is annoyingly fast. Annoyingly fast and annoyingly tanky for being an invisible unit with one-shot potential on workers. Looks like some Zealots are going to actually catch these Hydras as they try to retreat. Trying to split off as best he can and run away here. Larva going to lose some Hydras for sure. That is a bit frustrating at a time like this. He's got 48 workers now and a 4th base on the way. This is one of my least favorite maps currently when I'm playing. For a lot of reasons, but one of them in this matchup is that trying to hold that base in the bottom left is really quite difficult. Quite difficult to hold that while holding all the different positions out on the map. Oh my god, that was a storm and a half. That storm absolutely ruining this attack. Where is that High Templar, man? Where are you? I don't even see it. That's how crazy this is. Where the hell is that High Templar? It's sitting over top of a building here somewhere. Oh, there it is. I think it was up there in the corner. But yeah, it was tucked up somewhere over here. And got the very nice storm. Sneaky, sneaky High Templar. Absolutely ruining Larva's game plan. He started Lurker aspect now, but this is a really tough situation. There's a lot of storms out here. He just dealt with all your mutas with almost nothing wasted. Nothing really given away. 4 Corsairs is all he's got. And he casted 1 storm to deal with that. 75 energy is all he had to use. Now Hydras are being tracked down here and killed. The Zealots are going to be pushing everything back while the Corsairs do their job. We could target fire there on those Corsairs at the very least, getting some damage with the Hydras here. 3rd base on the way up now. And Lurker upgrade is getting close to completion. Not quite there yet. Hopefully he's got some open supply when that finishes. That's one of the things that I die to most often. It's so frustrating as well. Is when you're waiting for your Lurker upgrade, or when I'm waiting for my Lurker upgrade, waiting and waiting for it to finally come online so that I can prepare for this big 2-base attack that's coming. And then it finishes, and then I have no overlords to make any Lurkers. That is one of the worst things. One of the worst ways to die. Somebody, a wise man once said that Zerg dies in the most pathetic ways possible. And that is one of those pathetic ways that I wind up dying a lot of the time. Nice spread here on the Lurkers initially. Dodge on that storm, but the storm on the left there doing quite a bit of damage. This storm as well. We would like to snipe some observers at this point. Finally trying to come back in right now. There's gotta be less storm by now. That was a lot of storm, but no, he still has plenty remaining. Actually, you know what? That was the last one. Oh, there's another one right there. So still has some storm left remaining. Zealots headed out on the map. That's a little bit scary. Oh my gosh, he's gonna move into position to catch a run by right as that runs past. Oh gosh. Larva in quite a bit of trouble, but he at least has this Overlord to witness the attack coming in. Can he move down here in time to save the base? Maybe he can delay with a Lurker egg, something like that. He's going to be able to tuck these Hydras into the corner. Oh boy. Yeah, all right. Not bad, not bad. Make a Lurker egg there. Bring back some mutas. I'm going to run these Lurkers away as everything pushes forward. Hydras arrive just in the nick of time here. Some of these drones will be killed, it looks like. But overall, not a bad hold here from Larva. It's just the army is now out. The army is now out on the map, and that's never a good thing. You don't want to allow this army to start roaming, because then you have to kind of deal with it on all these different fronts. You have to track it, try to figure out where it's going, and in just at a moment's notice, the entire Protoss army can turn and just move in a different direction. And it's very hard to track it down in that way. Lurkers running up on top of everything, trying to get reasonable burrows here. Great storms on the bottom side. So hard to avoid those type of storms when there's just so much stuff being moved in this army. I think Rich took a much better fight there than Larva. Larva hurting on his overall efficiency with the army. You can see he's not really mining this gas either, which is going to become a serious issue here as time goes on. Hopefully he's going to recognize that here soon. He will get this base in bottom left online at the very least. And he's looking for another fight. Nothing to snipe these High Templar, though. He just unburrows and backs up. And Muta's going to come forward. Lurker's going to do their job. Can he actually snipe observers here? Very good Storm. Dealing a lot of damage. And the Lurker's going to have to retreat once again as all of this stuff pushes forward. Ling's on the way. He just finished the attack speed upgrade. Adrenal glands is done. No +1 here just yet. 2-3 is done. Oh boy. Or 3-2, I guess, is done on these Dragoons. So very strong upgrade advantage right now. These are 2-1 and he's 3-2. It's going to be very hard to stop this army. These Zealots are going to be hitting very hard and tanking a lot of damage. The High just have to run. Lurkers are going to spread out over at this base as he comes deeper and deeper in here. Larva's setting up for a big surround. Try to hit this from the back. Let's see if he can get in here, deal that damage. Looks like he killed one High Templar. Lurker's coming in. Oh boy. Oh man. Lurker's got to run out of there. At least they didn't get trapped on top of each other. I know that feeling, that moment where the Lurkers are way too close to the Protoss army and he's like, run. Cannons here in the bottom right being set up, much to the chagrin of Larva. Doesn't want to allow Protoss to start taking a half of the map. Hydra's sniping High Templar, still trying to win through these High Templar snipes. See if he can't overwhelm this army now. Coming through the middle of the map to fully surround. This is looking pretty good for Larva as long as he can keep things spread. Not eat too much damage from these storms. I think he might have a very good opportunity to fight here. Surround on a lot of this army. That storm, brutal. That storm as well. Absolutely savage. And this army will survive. Good God. Storm is a very good unit, guys. It's hard for me to imagine anything more OP than the High Templar. 9 kill, 11 kill High Templar here. Using only energy, and then they can morph together to make the strongest melee unit in the entire game. That's immune to Plague as well. It's pretty sick. Pretty disgusting. And I hate it so very, very much. But I'll try to hide my bias as well as I can, although it often slips through in the cast, as you guys well know. We've got Lurkers here on the high ground. Bottom left. Larva is pretty well defended. Back at home. Solid number of gateways here. Rich, is he transitioning into Reaver play? Not quite yet. Just making Archons and adding on Plasma Shield upgrades. He's at 3-3, and starting those Plasma Shields now is going to give him a heads up, or a leg up, I guess, in the overall battle for supremacy in these fights. These upgrades are starting to finish now. The Lings are getting their upgrades online. Lurker's rushing down here to defend. Looks like he was a little out of position with the Lurker army over here in the bottom left. Does manage to get there in time, though, and with the Dark Swarm can hang on for now. He's waiting for the Plague, though. Definitely Plague, a much higher value spell in the PvZ. Definitely want to get this army whittled down with that Plague as much as possible. He's going to move out with the Lings and try to spot the army. And then move in with the Defiler from like a surprising angle to suddenly get the Plague off. Looks like Rich has identified that. Probably won't eat the biggest Plague, but it is what it is. He gets a few units here. He'll take it. As long as the Defiler survives, you're absolutely happy with that. It was something like 3 Lings you have to consume to get that up, so... Oh, boy, he's going to lose that. Oh, that's unfortunate for Larva. Can he actually get one more Plague? Okay, not bad. Not bad at all. Spoiler goes down after using 2 plagues. Still not really getting much of the army. It is very difficult unless the army is completely stopped to get a good chunk of it with a single plague. And Rich is just going to keep moving his army continuously, rotating back and forth as he takes bottom right. He just wants to skirmish with any army located in the middle of the map as he takes that bottom right-hand corner. Larva set up here with the defensive position. Dark Swarm's going to go down. And so it's much harder to push through these lurker numbers now, but with Storms and Zealots, he can make it work. Just how much is he going to lose for the privilege of busting through that? Hydras, Lings, and of course one. Oh, there you go. Hey, you know what? That's a pretty money plague, actually. It's not as good as hitting, you know, a bunch of Reavers or something like that, but, you know, gets a good one on the Observers, at least. Top Center is not going to be able to live here, at least for the time being. Waiting on these upgrades. Just a couple more seconds here, and +2 will be done. +3 armor as well. So Larva doesn't want to take the engage before his upgrades come online. That would be a bit of an anti-timing. +2 shields is on the way. And finally, it's time for the robotics, which means that Reavers are not too far away. There's a robotics in bottom right to begin producing those Reavers. And of course, Gravitic Drive, a very important upgrade that will allow him to outmaneuver practically everything that the Zerg has, including Scourge, which are just a little bit slower than the shuttle when that Gravitic Drive is underway. Oh, a bunch of Archons are going to go down on the top side of this fight. Kind of letting Archons run into Hydras here. And now the Archon count is much lower. That was like 3-4 Archons that just went down. The army is really only as strong as the Archon count in these later game fights. The Plagues are going to tear apart the Zealots and Dragoons. The Lings will overwhelm everything, but the Archons, if they're in the mix of all of these units, like if you get like 7-8 Archons in your army, there's almost no amount of Lings that will be able to battle with that. Especially if you're using a few Storms in the fights as well, just dropping Storms wherever the Lings and Hydras are most clumped. That Archon count is going to be critical in the victory here for Rich. Now Larva's kind of taken map control with that last fight. He's pushed back Rich far enough to where he holds the majority of map dominance here. Even gonna lose another one. Oh, almost losing every Hydra there. The Lurkers will now spread out, and Archon's gonna go down here. Dark Templars making their way to the bottom center. Is that 3 Dark Templar? How fast will Larva react to this? It needs to be super fast if he wants to save this base. 3 Dark Templar kill a hatchery astoundingly quick. It's crazy how fast they can kill it. So he does manage to respond to that in time. We haven't seen any drops here just yet. Gravitic Drive has finished, though. So Reavers are available, ready to be moved around. Starting to run out of minerals on most of these bases here. Larva down to just 3 bases mining. Where is that Reaver? I actually don't see it now. There it is. Reaver shuttle down here at the bottom right. Gonna go for a Dark Storm here to get rid of the... Oh, nice Plague there as well. Good Plague on all those fresh Zealots. And a big army moving out. I think the most likely place for a big attack is into the main right now for Larva. He might be able to get in there and actually wipe out the production of Rich at this critical moment. He's got everything kind of locked down in bottom right. If he pulls everything together and attacks directly to the natural, he might be able to get through there. His time is kind of running out in that regard. But maybe he can still go for it. Let's see. Both players still kicking off right now. Larva a little bit slower at this point. Only at 300 APM. Or I guess 270 for the time being. Dark Templar ends up going down, and this army moving forward here. Plague. Oh, he should have gone for the Reavers. That is such a shame. The Reaver Plague is so important. You can get that off. Really does make all the difference in the world to breaking some of these attacks. There's the Plague on the Reavers. Rich not quite quick enough to deal with that properly. And he's going to run forward here. He gets the shuttle and both the Reavers. Oh my goodness. Yeah, forcing a bit too many interactions. Even with 400 APM, Rich having a hard time keeping up. Central Sacs on the way. +3 attack for Lings is coming. Scourge placed just about everywhere to defend. I guess not in the way to the main. Not quite everywhere. Top center and bottom center being taken now. And Rich is kind of sitting back. He can't just sit back forever. He actually needs to start to push. He's managed to get that Archon count back up to 7. And he does have some Reavers, although they don't have shuttle support just yet. Big Plague there, bottom right. Slowly closing in for this one. Not sure if Rich is going to be able to wiggle his way out of this one. He does have the high ground control in bottom right. Can take this base, and you can play it out. You can just try to defend, and eventually win just through force of trading against the Zerg player in a spot like this. If you're holding that bottom right, you manage to mine that out. You can see 3,000 minerals on both sides. I guess 2,500 here for Rich. Not quite as many. Quite a bit more, actually, for Larva. Let's manage to storm that down. 3 Reavers here on the ground. Needs to get some cannons up, though, to help defend this area. It can be good to just build 2 gateways here, too. 2 gateways just cramps up this area. Put the cannons behind, and then you just can't kind of run in easily with any units to try and get kills there. Let's see, he's got a good vision on this. And so just running forward with the Defiler and getting a Plague on all these Reavers is going to be worth it. I don't know what he's doing with 2,000 minerals in the bank right now. There's the Plague. Yeah, he gets it. Just sack the Defiler, no big deal. Running forward here with some Lings, trying to kill a High Templar. Manages to get maybe 1, maybe 2. Larva closing in on this base. Can he actually break it now? He's managed to get both bottom center and top center. And he's really putting Rich through his paces here in the late game. This is the strength of Larva. His late game control is quite good. Another great Plague here. You can see all these Reavers have now been plagued. Even though there's 6 Reavers here, not a lot of cannons just yet. And not many Zealots either. Some High Templar with Storm from the high ground are going to be very helpful. But a lot of units pouring in here. Can he actually hang on? Looks like he will, at least for now. But did lose 2 Reavers. 2 Reavers is a pretty big loss. Gonna lose the Nexus as well. And yeah, might lose the rest of these Reavers. Oh boy. Yeah, you can see how quickly the Reavers actually die when they've been plagued. It's pretty wild. He's actually taking an amazing trade down here. This is about the best trade you could ever imagine in the late game of ZVP. It's very hard to trade well against the Protoss army, especially with Reavers, but Larva managing to make it look pretty easy. High Templar Storm. No Storm here just yet. Okay, finally throws down the Storm. Wants to get up on top of this base. He's actually going to kill it, I believe. No Storm here just yet. One more Storm is available. Now that he's on high ground, it's nearly impossible to break this. Archon standing on high ground with Storm. Like, you cannot break this. I guess maybe eventually most of this stuff goes down. Yeah, he actually wants to get in here before the High Templar have any more storms. It looks like he will clear out the army. But he's managed to... The most important thing is deny this base. Just keep that base denied. Rich is starting to mine out. He's still on 2 bases, which is doable. 2 bases, absolutely doable. Just hang on. Cling in there. Make some Dark Archons, maybe. This base might go down, though. Oh, what? Oh, Artosis Pylon here. Oh, man. That's actually going to be it. Oh, wow. Almost missed that. Artosis Pylon sealing the deal here for Rich. He's just going to lose that whole base and all the probes that were being transferred down here. I think, yeah, that's got to be the end. GG is called. Artosis Pylon for the win. Or for the loss, however you want to look at it here. If you're cheering for Protoss, I guess it's for the loss. Coming in with the drop. Getting some feel-good kills here in the main base at bottom right. GG. Jump into our next game. On to the next one, boys. We got Rich over here in the bottom left-hand corner. Larva in the bottom right. Just talking to Shun during the break about some of the crazy shit going on in the world right now, and my goodness, things are getting really insane out there. Hopefully you guys are safe, you're enjoying your lives and not getting sucked into the matrix, not letting the plight of society drag you down. I'm happy you're here with me, hanging out, having a good time, enjoying something that you love and that I love and that we all love. And yeah, I hope that it's not affecting you guys too much, that you guys can pull back and remember that your life is not affected by world events for the most part. That you don't need to be affected by directly these crazy things going on in the world. And with that, we're going to jump right on into this game. Lings being sent out here, 4 Lings initially to try and put on some pressure. Zealot probe on the ramp for the defense, most likely. 1 Zealot's actually going across. Okay. He's going to come over here and start to hit the 3rd hatchery. Gas on the way. 4 more Lings. Hatchery takes damage. Probe gonna try and slip in here. Actually block this. He does. Zealot behind the mineral patches. 2 more sets of Lings on the way. He's building a lot of Lings, guys. Is there going to be Ling speed coming up here shortly? That's a very nice probe scout. Very good probe scout here. Hiding 2 Lings, but he's making a lot more behind this. Looks like he might just abandon the hope of killing that Zealot. Ling speed. Seems a little late now. Is he actually going to go Ling speed? Yeah, there it is. Ling speed. Here comes that big round of Lings making its way forward. Zealot going to head in towards the natural, possibly straight up into the main, as all these Lings are produced and sent out. 19 of 19. Shield battery on the way here. Very difficult to hold something like this. A Ling all in. Pretty scary against the Zealot expansion. Getting some good damage on this, and it looks like the gateway will end up falling. Gateway goes down. And start to use his shield battery a little bit to try and hold the line. Pretty good hold so far from Rich, but he's running out of Zealots. Run out of Lings here as well. Looks like the Zealot in the main base is going to get cleaned up. Can he get a drone? No. No drone kill. Lings run by as the cannon finishes up. So what's he going to follow up with? More drones? Drones? Okay, drones coming and some Lings as well. Okay. I'm gonna try and run by this cannon, I think. Can he actually get in here? He's dragged the zealot off to the side. He can probably surround that zealot. And even if he can't, there's nothing in this wall. Second cannon on the way. I think Larva might have this. I think Larva might just get him here. Yeah, he's going in. Ling's back in from the main. Cannon gonna go down here, and it looks like he's managed to pull it off. GG is called, and Rich taps out. So a quick little game here between Rich and... oh, that's a nice frame to end on. Zealot exiting his corporeal form. Moving on into the next game. He'll be respawned. He'll be reborn into this next game. Yeah, just a quick Ling all in. Not a bad way to end against a Protoss that's being a little bit greedy. He saw the Lings were coming out with the probe. He should have been tipped off there that something's happening. And he did, in fact, make the shield battery, but not the control that he needed to hold that. Probably needed to pull more probes, too. Anyway, talked about it enough. Let's jump into our next game. As this series drags to a close, feels like Larva is getting more and more handle on Rich and his style of play. Feels like he's starting to get the download and how to beat this guy. Slowly but surely. We saw him win in a long late game, and we just saw him kind of finish off early Rich in that last game. Now another gateway opener coming out of Rich, but this time going for a hatchery first. He's managed to sneak it out here because of this gateway first. Not going to have the probe in the natural in time to block, even if he did scout correctly. Now, will he send this first zealot across the map? Looks like he's going to find just now the natural in the bottom right. Don't think he's going to be able to get down here in time. Maybe he hides the zealot. One thing he can do is kind of hide the zealot maybe behind the minerals over here at the center, or at the bottom right. And then keep the probe alive, tracking what happens with the Lings. And when you have the opportunity, quickly move out and snag some kills, or move in, I guess, to the Zerg base, try to snag a kill. Oh, drone at the third manages to grab the hatchery there, but under a bit of pressure. This is just being whittled down slowly but surely over time with the tiny bit of help that the probe is giving. You can see it actually goes up when it's one zealot, barely going up little bit by little bit at a time. With the second zealot, it will start to burn down, and I don't think there's enough health on this to actually survive the double zealot long enough for the Ling to get over here. Gotta cancel. Okay, he at least gets to cancel. That's something. Hatchery gonna be made over at the right hand side now. Ling's going in for the counter. Will he be able to break through here? A lot of drones have been pulled to make sure that he doesn't die to this. The two zealots are headed back home. He knows that as long as he lives, Rich knows as long as he lives, he's going to be in a good way versus Larva at this point. Larva going to go ahead and work on these zealots at the front, but the two more arrive back at home. We get the surround on these. All right, does manage to slip away. Not the greatest engagement here from Larva, but he will clear out some of these zealots. He could try to run by now. Not going to do it. It's tough. It's tough. Overlord was missed. You can see the money banking up right now, and Larva sitting and waiting. That Overlord, tell you what, that Overlord is a pain in my butt. Been many a time I've missed that Overlord. It's cost me games for sure in the past. Oh, it is a little bit cathartic to see Larva miss it as well in these kind of moments of panic when you're trying to break something or micro lings in the early game. Can easily miss that. Easily miss that Overlord. It's crazy how quick that can happen. Zealot's coming over to the third base now. How many lings have been made? He wants to get a little greedy. Make a lot of drones right now because he was so late with that Overlord supply block, but you have to make lings right now. It looks like he's made enough. I think he's made enough. Oh man, that little doodad there. Giving such a nice concave. Such a nice defensive area for Rich to hang out in. Yeah, it's just gonna be a bad trade fighting that. No two ways about it. Eventually he would kill it if he goes in, but it's not gonna feel good. Maybe he can slip past a little bit and get a better surround on this top zealot. Not too sure about that. Let's see if he goes for it. Could still go for it. Let's see what's going on back at home here. Citadel Stargate. +1 on the way. Nothing out of the ordinary in terms of the build here. Out of Rich. He's just doing it as one would expect. There's a Hydra. Finally gonna pop out here. Force the engagement. And he's gonna clean this up. Much better decision here for Larva to just get that one Hydra. And now, Evolution Chamber. More hatches can come down. Droning has commenced. 30 drones in total have been made, and we're going to see a move out here in a sec. 5 Zealot timing to move out. Be getting that underway here in a moment. Lings crossing the map. Hydra could be utilized to try and deal damage to the gateway here. That's kind of out of position. Cannons are in a bit of a funny way at that natural. Bit of a weird setup from Rich. Having both cannons on the left-hand side. A little bit weird. Double gateway here. Going up to 4 or 5 gates. Corsair scouts everything. A lot of lings, huh? Quite a lot of lings. Is he just going to try and bust the natural with just a few Hydras and a lot of lings? It's not going to work very well when this +1 is done, but maybe he gets in there before +1. Might have a chance. Might have an opportunity to do something. Just funny to see him make a whole round of lings there. Doesn't really seem super smart. Oh. Hydra corrected. He was having a bit of a moment there. He's good now though. Figured something out. Zealots just about done that +1. He is going to move out right before that finishes. Hydras are going to meet him. DT here. And Overlord speed is nowhere near completion. So this Overlord down or over there is the closest to the base. Not going to be able to really attack in that DT at the front, but he managed to trade off some Zealots. Not bad. And Hydra number is getting to be pretty decent at this point. Not a lot of hatcheries just yet. 3, 4, 5 hatch Hydra production. Keeping it a little bit scrappy, I guess. Low econ to keep things rolling here. Overlord. Oh, is it going to see this DT moving up? Looks like he sees the DT now. We're just going to go for the nat. Can he actually get the kills? Oh, nice jump. Storm. Pretty good dodges. Wait. Okay. Another good dodge there. Very good dodges from Larva overall. The Storm is available. Ooh. Oh, that hurts. Yeah, that's painful. Can you get this? Oh, he gets the +1 armor. Nice job. +1 armor goes down, but can he handle the counter? counterattack is coming. Hard and fast. Pure Hydra production is what needs to take place right now. But a few drones are being slipped out as he can. He really wants to get a few more drones out in this moment. Bit of a scary one right now for Larva, but without that +1 armor, the Zealots are quite a bit less tanky. The Hydras are cutting through them pretty well. Managing to push that back. Lurker aspect. Halfway done now. Dragoons are going to be starting to increment out now. 6 at a time here for Rich. 6th hatchery is done. +1 armor on the way. No +2 attack, funnily enough. Usually you see +1 attack directly into +2 attack, and then the +1 armor to kind of follow that up as an afterthought. Occasionally you will get that +1 attack or +1 armor along at the same time as the +2 attack. We usually don't want to forego that +2 attack. Maybe he's doing that because he knows he denied the +1 armor. Yeah, that could be interesting. Maybe that's the reason he's decided to do it like this. The scary thing is when you can't snipe High Templar because they have too much armor. That's kind of scary. That's definitely not a good situation to be in. When they got a bunch of armor and you just don't have the attack to actually snipe. You can run up with six Hydras and not even get a single High Templar because they're all too tanky. Supply block or something? I don't know. A lot of larvae sitting here. He's going to make that all into Hydras. Lurkers are now out as well. And time to contain. I'm going to lock down Rich here. Although he's already got a observer, and I don't see an overlord here to allow him to try and snipe this. So Lurker's going to go down immediately. These Lurkers are going to run forward. I just eat some storms here on the side. Oh, he is going to get the observer. Observer goes down. Big move there. But all the Lurkers die on this right-hand side to a couple of storms. Lurkers running forward here. Oh, can he get some High Templars with these? Targeting on the High Templar pretty darn good with the Lurker. And he's starting to break through. Focusing down the Dragoons is 100% the right play in these moments. You want to cut down the... I guess it would be like a utility unit, more like a siege unit for the Protoss. For actually getting rid of these Lurkers, because the Lurker number's just going to continue to grow, and if it's just pure Zealot that he's working with, the Lurkers are going to have a field day. Keeping that Dragoon count low. Really, really important. More Lurkers being made out of these low health Hydralists. Had to make an Archon here. More Templar are coming out. He just doesn't have much Storm at the moment. The Lurker attack earlier where he was able to snipe those High Templar was pretty boss. Pretty sick move from Larva to just run forward like that. Can backfire really, really quickly if you mess it up at all. Or if they have a storm ready for you. Can he get the... Oh, he gets the observer. One storm is available. Pretty good dodges here. Pretty darn good dodges. Gonna force everything back. Overlord escapes with just 2 HP. Fourth base hasn't been set down just yet. Only focusing on this hold. Keeping Rich in on 1 base. Or I guess, yeah, on 2 bases, excuse me. This is going to be a 1 base economy here soon as that starts to run out. These tiny little skirmishes are so crazy. You're so low on units on both sides. 2 small groups of Hydras. It's not even 12 Hydras, I think. It was basically holding, I guess, just barely 12 Hydras and 4 Lurkers. Holding the Protoss in his base. It's so close to a bust out. But he's still hanging in there. 2 observers now. Trying to push forward with the Archon. Dragoon's taking a lot of damage, and there's no storm here. He didn't wait for a storm. So the Dragons are going to get pushed back. 3 more of them go down. If the Observers fall, I think this game is just about over. Yeah, he just bought too much time. We're at 15 minutes now. Just about out of money. Lurker's pushing forward. Gonna go for the snipe on the Observer. 100%. Snipe that Observer. Lurker burrows. Can't even move forward here. Snipe on the Dragoon. Target fire. Really good target fire there. Couple of kills and then backs away once again. Larva just playing this out textbook when it comes to containment on the Protoss player. Poking in again and again. Looking for those Dragoon snipes whenever he can. High Templar snipes. Of course, always a good thing. 2 High Templars on the way. 7 Dragoons. This will probably be the last attempt from Rich. If he can't break out... Okay, he's not even going to wait for those High Templar. That's crazy. Just running in with the Zealots. I think we may have found the limits of what Rich can do here in this series. He can't quite break out of a containment by Larva. Having a hard time keeping up with them when it comes to these small engagements back and forth. The pokes and prods, even with 385 APM, just can't quite make it work. Another storm. One more. Oh, quite a bit of dodging there. And there goes the last of the Dragoons, guys. Thank you so much for watching this series. It's been a long one. I mean, we went, I don't even know, 15, 16, 17 games long for this series. Not all in one video, of course, but throughout this Larva versus Rich series. I hope you guys had a blast. I definitely enjoyed. Some of these games were incredibly good. Maybe not these last 2, but quite a few of these games were impeccable. Excellent versions of these 2 players. And we really got a good feeling about how Rich is playing. I'm surprised that Larva didn't spread his overlords a little bit better. Because one of the things that Protoss will do in this type of situation is they'll just send a drop around. They'll just load up, you know, 2 DTs or something, a couple Zealots, or even a High Templar and a couple of Zealots, and just send it in. Send it in, go along the edge here, you know, try to get a bunch of kills at one of these bases, and it can be an absolute nightmare to try. Running your drones around, pulling back Hydras to try and stop the damage, but also trying to stay alive here or try to keep this containment going over at the natural as well. It's an absolute nightmare situation. So you really want to spread overlords early. Get a full surround on the Protoss player so you know if anything slips out. Anyway, guys, thank you. Shout out to everybody on Patreon who's been supporting lately. All of you channel members as well. Really do appreciate your support. And yeah, everybody who's been signing up on the Shun Saiyan Dualcast as well. Really appreciate it. Really do appreciate it a lot. I'm super tired now. I'm going to head to bed. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Going to be streaming again. Going to be playing some more Broodwar. So come and join me over at twitch.tv/SaiyanSC. See you there.